We understand representation. It's how we do politics. We have an election, we choose candidates, and they go off to City Hall or Lansing or Washington, D.C., and they represent us. But is it really so simple? I don't think so. Being a representative actually entails a set of complex and interrelated issues about what the job entails and how to go about doing it. We can neatly sum up these concerns into three basic aspects of representation, each of which has a key question: how, who, and what. Let's begin with the how. Quick refresher. If you go all the way back to ancient Greece, the concept of democracy required citizens to be the ones directly exercising political power, having a hand in the decisions affecting the polis. Fast forward to the 1770s and 80s, and it's clear that direct democracy, along the ancient Greek lines, can't possibly work in a country of 3 million people. The framers latch onto the controversial idea of representation to transform democracy from an idea suitable only to towns or cities and make it work for a geographically huge country. Ordinary citizens would still wield ultimate political power, but immediate policy decisions would be made by elected officials. So, as much as it seems second nature to us today, representation was chosen to help solve the problem of scaling democracy. It did, though, bring with it a new set of problems for democracy, especially at the national level. Elected representatives, by necessity, become distant from those they represent. Travel time from Washington to the furthest corners of the country would take weeks. For most of a century, that applied to communication as well. So what happened when, as a member of Congress, you were asked to make a controversial decision? The framers spent a lot of time trying to decide the right ratio of citizens to members of Congress, because they valued the idea that members of the House could be closely connected to their constituents. Representation would work, they thought, only when people could honestly know their elected officials, and when those same officials could really know and understand their constituents. I'm sure that even in the 1790s, that was largely a nice-sounding fiction. But there's truth to it, and even before modern opinion polls were invented, elected representatives would often know quite clearly how their constituents felt on an issue. We can phrase the first aspect of representation in a couple of ways. How do you act? Or how much do you personally matter as a representative? When a representative knows quite confidently what his or her constituents want, it's possible to act under what's called the delegate theory. The delegate theory says that as a representative, it is your job to follow the express wishes of your constituents. If they say cut taxes, then you vote to cut taxes. For the delegate theory, the representative as a person doesn't matter quite so much. No matter who is elected, they are there to do what the people have decided. The delegate theory works fine for instances where the people have made their wishes clear. As a representative, though, you encounter many issues your constituents have never thought about or where their wishes aren't clear. In these cases, what is a representative to do? That's where the trustee theory comes into play. According to the trustee theory, in voting for you, your constituents have made a vote of confidence in your favor. They have chosen you specifically, and part of what they have chosen is not just your ability to parrot their own opinions, but also your ability to think for yourself. The trustee theory says that representatives are sent off to make decisions that citizens might never anticipate needing to make, and when they do so, representatives make their own choices about what they believe is in the best interests of their constituents. If the people feel otherwise or believe their trust has been violated, they're free to not re-elect you when the time comes. The delegate and trustee theories are often presented as an either-or choice. Clearly, though, both end up being important. On some issues, it is very easy to act according to the delegate theory. Frequently, this is the case with domestic politics. And on other issues, the trustee theory is the wisest, often the case for issues of foreign affairs, where most citizens lack clearly formed opinions. Perhaps the most important thing for a representative is knowing when to act according to which theory. The balance is tricky and often in flux. A representative who is able to make the switch at the right time could be said to be operating under the political theory of representation.